Hello and welcome. Today I want to start off a new series that I've been feeling called to do that talks a little bit more about compatibility between the signs. However, I was recognizing as I was kind of scripting it out in my own head that there are various misconceptions about what to look for when you're trying to decide, am I compatible with somebody in terms of astrology. And so I thought that I would do a kind of primer video to talk a little bit about what you want to look for when you look at synastry. Now keep in mind this is ultra basic, and I'm not a master astrologer, so please make sure to do your own research too. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to sun signs, what you want to recognize is that that's not the biggest indicator of whether or not you're going to be compatible. It does play a role, though, because your sun sign is your life theme. It's the things that you've been through, and it's kind of closer to the personality that you're going to feel like and look like as you get more towards middle age, over the hill, like 50, 60, sometimes even 70, 80-ish. Like really, like your sun sign does not really outline much of your personality. What it describes has been your soul path and how you have traveled from infancy up to where you are. So that does have to do with compatibility, and it's generally a good practice to recognize that you want to have at least the space of two sun signs between you. So, like, I'm a Capricorn, so I have never really found great compatibility with, like, say, an Aquarius or a Sagittarius. And likewise, Pisceans and I tend to be a little bit too watery for me, and Scorpios, ironically, even though I have Scorpio placements, tend to be a little bit too intense for me, or likewise also a little watery. So look around at that. Like if you're a Cancer, you're probably not going to blend very well with a Gemini sun or a Taurus sun, and likewise an Aries sun is still going to be a little meh, and a Leo sun is going to be a little bit meh. So look at your sun sign and look two before and two after, and don't use that as like the only way to look at it, but just keep it in mind. There are plenty of people who share the same sun sign and do have great compatibility because the rest of their signs are also there. Now, keep in mind that what you really want to look at is the rest of your charts. So you want to look at your moon signs, which indicates how you deal with things emotionally. And ironically, it's actually really good if you share the same sun sign. Like if you both have an Aries, or sorry, sun sign, moon sign. Like if you both have an Aries moon sign, you're likely to relate very, very well on an emotional level, which is something that you look for in a relationship usually. And then your rising sign, which is your personality, your ego, how you present yourself on the outside. And another layer of that is that it's also called your ascendant sign, and the opposite of that is your descendant sign, and that is typically that's the self that you reveal in a relationship. So say you have an Aries rising sign, in relationships that you truly feel safe being vulnerable and intimate in, you are actually much more likely to present like a Libra. Likewise, if you have a Capricorn rising, you're much more likely to present like a Cancer inside of a relationship that you feel safe in. You also want to look at your Mars and Venus signs. Now, for those that feel like they're a feminine entity, your Venus sign is kind of how you love, and it is also typically what you want to look for. Your masculine counterpart is going to look for in a feminine, and then your Mars sign is the kind of men that you find attractive, that pull you in, and that typically help you connect even with your own work energy. Now, ironically, it's actually the Jupiter placement of yours that will tell you what sort of husband type to look for if you're looking for something of more commitment. The Mars sign can be, it has much more to do with sexual compatibility, tantric compatibility, than it does to do with like spouse compatibility, but they both play a part. And it's neither good nor bad if you share the same signs in there, but it is good to look at certain synastry. I mean, you might find that if you have let's say a Leo Venus, that you really appreciate being, like, you probably have words of affection and acts of service are probably some of your love language, and you really appreciate being romanced and being treated kind of like royalty. And so it might be good to find somebody who has a Mars sign that really likes to they like to be of service. Maybe Mars in Virgo or something similar to that. And you really want to look around and look at what the compatibility are between those. So when I do these videos between, like, let's say Capricorn and Capricorn, or Capricorn and Cancer, or Aries and Taurus, things like that, what you want to look for is not just whether or not the sun signs are there. You really want to look at what the other placements are, and it'll tell you how you interact with that, because sun to sun really doesn't tell you enough. Which is also why it's important to be careful when you are looking at, when you're looking up various different types of synastry and compatibility. Make sure that you're considering the bigger picture, because it's not, your sun sign alone cannot really tell you enough. You really want to look at where the rest of your synastry is, and kind of get an overall blend. All right, if you have any specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I will do my best to answer them. Until then, I will see you in the next video.